All right, good morning. This is the Chef Workstation public triage for Wednesday, February 19th, 2020. And so first, Lance, thanks for joining us. Since you jumped in from the community, I wanted to see if you had any questions or issues you wanted to look at first.
Not particularly. The only issue has been trying to build Windows on Sync, and we're running into that issue. I haven't tried it with the recent master to see if anything had gotten fixed upstream. I might try that and see if we're still having that problem with Electron.
Gotcha.
That weird issue that we mentioned. But other than that, I don't think so.
And let me look at that.
I don't really have an issue open for it if you're looking for one.
Yeah, I was looking around to just see. Yeah, the last one was depth solving. So this is the issue that I'm looking at. Scrolling back in the community distros, looking for Chef Workstation.
Yeah, I needed to take a closer look at that and see if that's doing exactly what we need. This is basically to allow us to more easily apply our patches, because if you look down in what the gem file looks like, what we've been doing is we've been setting the source to our private gem repository on Package Cloud so that we can pull in our patched version that way, since that's how you install Chef, and it seems to work well. But every time this gets bumped, I have a conflict, and we're trying to work around that. But I need to test that myself and see if this will actually work around that.
Okay. And is the goal of putting it on separate lines is so it's easier to add a custom source here?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the hope, is that we can put it there, and then whenever you bump the versions, we don't have conflicts.
Okay, gotcha.
But I don't know if we need, yeah, we may need, like, yeah, I need to go through each one of them and see which ones really need.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, if that's the case, I'm fine with holding off on this and waiting until we hear back from y'all on the status of this. If doing this helps resolve those future conflicts with the version bumps.
Yeah, I'll take a closer look sometime here in the next few days, hopefully, and reply on this pull request.
Cool. And then for the Electron issue, is there anything you wanted to look at with that? I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head.
I'm trying to remember who was it, you or someone else that was looking into it at one point, or was trying to figure out why that was happening.
And I'm not sure, not jogging my memory, but that doesn't mean I wasn't the one who looked at it.
Let me look back. Oh, Afune, whoever that is.
Salim Afune, who is not here right now, but is on our team.
Yeah, but yeah, he mentioned something that you just upgraded Spectron and so forth. So I was gonna try I'll try running another run with the latest master and see if it happens again. But it's having an issue where npm throws an error on Windows saying lifecycle.
Oh, fun.
And then shows a debug file. Let's see, I think I have the debug file in community distros. I put it in the group chat there so you can see where it's at, but that was the latest log file that it had where it barfed.
Letting this load in my browser.
Yeah, it was the Electron dash Chrome driver. That was the one it was having an issue with through the air. I'm not sure if that looks familiar or not.
I'm still scrolling down through this built-in window that Slack opened it up for, or opened it up in. Ah, okay. Yeah, so it's having trouble just installing that like Electron plugin for the Chrome driver.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think this one I'd say let's try another build and see if it still
Okay.
happens. We may just want to pin to not a beta version of that Chrome driver until they get that release. Trying to remember when I've seen that before, because I've seen that before locally developing, having issues just trying to download these different things. And so, anyways, yeah, I think we'll run whenever y'all run another build, we'll look and see if it still has the issue.
All right, I'll kick one off and see what happens, and I'll let you know in the Slack channel what happens.
Cool. Okay, with that, let me pull up the board and start doing some triaging. Okay. My status, hide by mins, not working. That looks like a valid bug, but we're going to move it to the chef repo and see if we can add some tags for them. I'm trying to look at for the chef team, what kind of tags they put on here. You know, I guess the other thing I'm going to look at real quick to see if there's already an existing issue for this. Okay, does not look like it. So for this Cook style, detect showing out to unzip decompress files. Okay. I think this would be correctness. So I assume it's going to have them use the unzip resource. Looks like that one maybe Chef modernize. Coming back. Nope. Okay, well, those are all of the untriaged issues. Last time we were doing this process, we went and looked at issues with no labels, unless anyone else has some other uh, um, items they want to look at. Go through and continue with that.
No label sounds good, Tyler.
I'm going to skip the top of these. We can come back to them with time. Because the VS Code Chef and the Cook style ones, I think they're less important than some of the other repos we want to get through.
Do you want to order them by probably time? Yeah, skip the VS codes because I need to get familiarized to that one as well.
No cookbook version.
Is this in a policy file? Yeah, I remember this. Wait a minute, I triaged that one.
Yeah, this is the linked. So then they filed another issue against Chef Ply.
Got it.
And then I thought they added a. Oh, this is the PR, excuse me.
Got it. I like this.
It seems like a good change to just merge in. I don't see any reason to hold off.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. Go ahead, Celine.
I was just gonna say that UI, like, I don't know, like the export repo, who's initializing? Sometimes Ruby is been messing with me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We will need to pass this in, otherwise it'll just be nil, and then we'll get a nil message here as well.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned too. Like if somebody, like if we can trace where do we use the export repo, like, and see if we need that UI or.
I wonder if that's not where the failure was as well in the test.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe open the tests. Interesting. Are we really expecting an output and we broke it for the copyright 2020?
Like it.
Okay. Welcome to 2020, gentlemen and ladies. Well, that's a different era, so. I think we should, sorry, go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I was going to say, I am in favor of getting this PR from a community member merged. I think that will help them. While we're going through and triaging some of these issues, does someone want to take a look at checking this code change out and seeing like what we can do to make sure we pass in that UI value?
Yeah, I could follow up on it.
In that front, I would just like make sure that Jessica and John are like, are we okay by putting this one in the current sprint, so to speak, just to check it out and size it?
I guess I was thinking, I don't know, take 5 minutes to see if this something we quickly get merged.
I got it.
But I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, Jessica, John.
So hey, I'm
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I think
Go ahead.
the general process would be that this would be an issue at the top of backlog that we prioritize for next sprint. Being that we're on pace, I think, to get done with everything, I think I'm okay with us spending the 5 minutes.
Yeah, and especially since this is a PR, so it's a contribution, I will give a little bit of size to that one.
How about I do that? I will triage this. Let me update this so we'll automatically get, if this merges, it will close the related issue. I'll make a comment and
Well, I don't know that it does fix that though, because it just gives the login to track it down.
Yes, you were right. Thank you.
Sure.
Hopefully it doesn't fix that. got those. This is Chef Cly, issue 55, cookbook version being nil.
I thought we were already triage 924.
Why? Okay. Zoom was getting in the way. Do that. Okay, so that is now at the top of our backlog. We could hopefully take a look at that. Okay.
I'm sure that his example there is really a case of it failing because there's no .chef though. If you could scroll up a little. Thank you. A little bit down. It's right after my last comment there. Like that failure is showing isn't failing because there's no .chef. It's failing because there's no config in the places expecting it.
Right.
All locations.
I've got to sign off. Got another meeting. Thanks for letting me join this week.
Thanks, Lance.
Thanks for
Thanks
joining
for
us.
coming, Lynn.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
Someone isn't doesn't. It looks like we had some comments on this PR. So I'm thinking we probably need someone to just take this one and get it across the line. We have an issue for this, don't we?
I thought we did. We looked for it last week and couldn't find it, but I thought we did as well.
I was gonna say the same question. Where is this coming from? The PR.
Okay, so here's the issue. So Chef Workstation 810.
Can you open that one for us?
Mhm. And we had commented that we were going to do this. And we have a
Understood.
PR open, so I think this is another one that because we have a PR open, we'd want to bring it for consideration into pulling in the sprint so we can get the PR merged. Even though the PR, like Salim, it seems like you had some valid criticisms and things we'd want to change about it.
Yeah, it's up for. I would say yes. It's
Um,
also. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm also still not sure the installer script is the right place for this because that fixes for one user.
The Docker model is definitely do the things that need to be done on first run.
I think our problem is we don't have any given thing that we can be guaranteed gets a first run.
Right. And I'm hesitant to continually adding stuff to the like chef commands check every time because it only needs to run that check once. And otherwise in Ruby that those checks start to add up.
I mean, there is an approach we could take that's much more Dockery, and that is we don't do the post-install bin linking and any of that stuff. Like that all happens, setting up the path and things happen on the start of the tray app. And then it's just required that the tray app is running or has run at least once.
Yeah. I also want to say that I bet adding this to the post-install scripts would fix it for the vast majority of our users.
That is true.
Yeah, I think that's probably the short-term thing we should do. But this gets circled back in when we talk about packaging in general and evolving that to a new state. There's also the other conversation around this of like on a Mac, it probably shouldn't be in .chef DK. It should be home application support chef, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Why is this not showing me that other .chef issue we were just looking at?
I also just saw two different issues there about customizing the gem path. I wonder if they're related.
I was going to go figure that out and close one of them as a dupe.
Cool.
Does this seem okay to y'all? Getting this imperfect fix in as part of our next sprint.
Sounds good.
I mean, at least it should be at the top where we can make that call.
We could decide, yeah. I'm going to tag this one as waiting on contributors, since we had a bunch of contributor in the sense that we had people make comments about changes we wanted to make to this card, and we're going to pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's no like waiting on maintainer tag, is there? Oh, status incomplete. That's what I want, not waiting on contributor. Okay. So we got that one. I wanted to look at some of those duplicated issues. Workstation still customizes the gym path to be in touch. Okay, that is an issue. Workstation gym customization still set up authenticator.
Another one referenced there, 824, that may also be related. Oh, there it is.
Okay, so I'm going to update this older one's description. Okay. I think this is also checked at, honestly. Okay. Well done. Labels. Ah, yes. So this was some of the continued work from improvements around the preferences dialog for the app.
Ay, ay, ay. This is an interesting one. I want to make sure that this code is actually working. We just need to uncomment it and communicate to the users and to agree as a team about how do we want to do this telemetry. And
I think
smart.
we're probably a little ways away from pulling this in, because right now the telemetry controls really only affect the chef apply. So you can, or chef run, so you can modify the stuff through the dialog and it will set it in the config, but the only thing that respects that is in the chef run.
additionally, anything that happens in this general like preferences dialog in the Ruby world, it needs to be adapted so that we're checking for the application manage config and not the actual config. So there's some logic there that I wrote in Go
And the
that
other
needs to be backported into Ruby.
and the other concern here is if so the implementation we have is commonly available outside of Chevron uses or will soon be using placeholder like opt-in opt-out files. So it doesn't actually look in the config itself. And that's something that we can that we'll I think discuss further when we get to telemetry discussions. But there's a bit of a mess here to straighten out before this one can move. Like the Ruby ecosystem doesn't know about anything in .chef Workstation.
Mhm.
Yep. I think one thing Salim and I had talked about and mentioned in another issue was some kind of Go library that knows how to read and write these configurations. Then we write a Go binary that can do that, and then Ruby could call that Go binary. And that way everything's using the same underlying library implementation at least.
That could work.
Gotta take a phone call really quick.
It gets in line too with some of the earlier work you'd done around config management from Go. Like there was some stuff I think you did that we held off on because we weren't ready for it.
Yep.
I'd say it's both UI and UX.
Yep. Valid.
Are we? Never mind. I'll hold off on that one.
So my free hash code is
I'd like to extend that one to also include running it on startup, like running it on first run. Like it should just be it improves things quite a bit, and it should be something that we provide for you. We could even like pre-seed one or something like that, and that would probably be good. Like if we taught it to look at like the install directory for the base hash and then override it with user stuff or something like that, then we could ship a pre-seeded hash for all the stuff we ship with Workstation.
I see.
Okay, so she's got a ship knife hashed. Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we not already do that? That would be, yeah, that we should definitely do that. Okay, let me read this. Ah, gotcha.
I think pull this in and roll it up to the tech debt card. Or Epic or whatever. I guess, attach that, yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll at least see that there. Why not send that to the top? Yeah, there we go.
All right, I'm back. Sorry for that.
No worries. I think we can just merge this one. Nope.
Weren't there some issues that came out of this one? Maybe
It's failing to build. I don't see any linked issues or comments. Oh, I think there may just be issues in these stove tests. I feel like the last time we looked at these stove tests, we commented some out, something like that, just to get things merged since we're not putting active maintenance time towards this. So one thing we could do is add this to the tech debt epic and move it to the top of our board and decide if we want to, how we want to resolve this one. If it was passing tests, I would just hit the merge button right now.
I mean, this is kind of that one where it dropped into our sprint midway and there's not a good testing plan, etc.
Yep.
So, I think this is one of those things where we have an opportunity to model to the rest of the org. This doesn't merge or land until there's a philosophy around how we're going to make sure it doesn't break anything. This is also one, Quentin. I know you were looking at some require relative stuff in InSpec. I'd be interested to have you poke at this and see if there's an obvious gotcha in the same way.
Sure. Actually, we had a big issue on this Friday in train. One of the big issues was that you can't require relative across gems. And we ship train as both train and train core. And so that was a big issue that we had.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we would here because this is like often the knife plugins generally, but if we know it bit us elsewhere, we should look and make sure it's not going to bite us here.
Well, I got it tagged under the epic, so we'll at least see that as unfinished work as we continue tracking this epic throughout the quarter.
Cool.
Shit, set version of packages. I think this is the issue we were looking at with Oh, what? Bob Chaos Lance? I don't think so. Oh, that's Mark Chamberlain. Let me look and see if I can get his GitHub name real quick. This will be the last issue we look at. Okay. We got that triaged. I think I got through most of the unlabeled issues in most important repos. And so we'll go and address the other ones next time we do triage. Okay, thanks everyone for attending. I'm going to stop the recording.